Hey everyone, Jason here, digital marketing consultant, and these are the only 5 tools you need to build a hyper-focused lead generation machine. So timestamps below, along with some other helpful videos to driving traffic and actually building some of the elements of your lead generation funnel. So this diagram right here represents the lead generation funnel we'll be building using these 5 free tools. We're going to, of course, need to drive some traffic to a lead capture page or a calendar booking page, and of course, following up via email and having a pre-call survey if that's something that you want to include as part of your funnel. But either way, all roads lead to you on the phone with your ideal customer, and hopefully you get to close them, but I'll leave that up to you. So the first step in our process is, of course, creating some sort of lead capture page. After all, we need contact information in order to follow up with them. So whether you're asking for their name and email or you're asking for their name and phone number, the 2 tools that I recommend using for this particular step in your process would be MailerLite or ConvertKit. Now, if you already have an established business and website and you're looking for something that's going to allow you to send some automated emails, then MailerLite is going to be the resource that you want to use here. Now, if you're brand new, you don't already have a web presence, then go ahead and go with ConvertKit. And ConvertKit actually does have a lot more advanced automations when you upgrade from their free plan. So both of these allow you to get started for free, but MailerLite is going to allow you to send automated emails for free, whereas ConvertKit you're going to have to upgrade in order to do that. But both of these are going to allow you to capture leads, which is the most important part of this step, right? So then step number 2, of course, is creating a lead magnet, right? After at the end of the day, people need a reason to enter their contact information on your lead capture page. So for creating your lead magnet, I highly recommend using a tool called Canva. Even if you don't upgrade to the paid version, the free version is going to have lots of templates, graphics, and icons you can use to spruce up your lead magnet. So here's an example of one where we created a simple PDF and we added a lot of graphics on top of the boring old Google Analytics text to help people go through their analytics account and figure out all of the settings they needed to fix in order to better understand their website traffic. This next example is a quick resource guide we put together also using Canva, and as you can see, both of these look professional and it didn't take a whole lot of time to make them. So if you're interested on how to use Canva, I'll link up in the cards and the description to a video that walks through how to create good looking lead magnets with Canva in record time. Now that does it for tool number 2 here. Now tool number 3 is also going to be in this step, and that is your booking. So obviously you want to get people on the phone, but when it comes to booking and actually scheduling that call, it can be really cumbersome and quite a headache if you're emailing back and forth with times and figuring out time zones, and then by the time they email you back, you've already scheduled another call. And so I highly recommend using something like Book Like a Boss or Calendly here, and those will automatically connect to your calendar or just use their calendar inside their tool, and people can automatically schedule at specific times you've chosen. So that way you're not going to wake up in the morning and find out that you have 10 sales calls, right? Well, what a great problem to have. But also you have settings in there where you can tell the application that, hey, people need to give me at least a 24 or 48 hour notice. And so that's going to cover your scheduling, and that's going to save you a lot of time and headache. So now let's go ahead and move on to the 3rd step of our process and the last 2 pieces of software here, and that's going to be your traffic. So whether you're going to be creating content, you're going to run some ads, or you're going to be engaging in community groups, I'll link up in the cards in the description to a video that walks through all 3 of those strategies in much more detail when it comes to B2B and how to actually choose them. What I recommend using first here is Ubersuggest. So it's going to be a free tool. You do need to sign in using your Google account in order to continue to use the software, but your first project is free, and this is going to give you a lot of information on keywords and analyze competitors' websites. So something that's really great about this tool is you can go ahead and let's say you're going to be running some Google search ads. So you can go type in your keywords into Google, and then you can take the URLs of the sites that are showing up, plug those into Ubersuggest, and Ubersuggest is going to show you what types of pages are working well on their site, as well as the keywords they seem to be going after. So you can take those keywords for creating content or help you putting together your PPC campaigns. When it comes to manual outreach or you're engaging in community groups, groups the proper way, not promoting, but engaging, then I highly recommend using a simple Google Doc to keep track of all of the questions and the way you reply to things, because as you engage via email or in community groups, you're going to find you're going to get the same questions over again, and you're going to have the same answers that you're giving, and this is going to help you understand your customer better and also streamline your engagement and lead generation process. And of course, Google Drive is going to be tool number 5 on our list here. Now, specifically, we're going to be using Gmail, we're going to be using Google Docs like we just talked about, and we're also going to be using Google Forms. Now, before we go on to the other 3, I'll quickly say that if you don't want to use Canva for whatever reason, we have made successful lead magnets simply using a Google Doc. We just share that URL, the Google Doc, inside of the first email we send in our sequence, and this is an example of a template that we used to offer as a lead magnet. Now, why do you want to use G Suite and not just the free version? Well, you want to use G Suite because as soon as you're sending emails with your name at your company, you're immediately elevated and look a lot more professional than if it's just your company at gmail.com. It's $5 to $10 a month, depending upon the plan that you choose. You can start with the lower price plan, and that's going to give you your @company email address. It doesn't matter if you have the .com, if it's .net, .co, .io, whatever it is, as long as it's your company .whatever, you're going to be taken a lot more seriously than just using a standard Gmail address. Now, the final element that we're going to use in our tool number 5 here is going to be Google Forms. Now, you'll notice that in the beginning on the lead capture page, I only talked about collecting basic contact information, the minimum amount, the name and the email, and maybe their phone number at that point, right? You probably don't even need the phone number at that point, but it just depends on how you're structuring your process. And so here what you want to do is to create a pre-call survey. So this is going to be where you ask all those questions you want to know before you spend your valuable time on the phone with them, right? So this is going to be where you're going to make sure that before you hop on a call, you really do have an ideal customer in front of you and not someone who's not a good fit. After all, you don't just want to get on the phone with everyone. You want to make sure that you have some sort of vetting process so that you're valuing your time, and arguably more importantly, you're valuing their time to make sure that you're not wasting people's time. So that does it for the 5 tools that you can use. We almost got away with free, 100% free tools, but there are a couple I highly recommend paying for, like Calendly and G Suite. The other ones you can start with their free plans. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe for more B2B marketing videos just like this one, and until the next, keep building the business you love.